Hello, hello. Welcome to Lewis Acre Farm and Grace and Fire with Glenda and Talk About It Tuesday. I hope you all are doing well and having a wonderfully, wonderfully blessed week so far. Oh, so sorry about going live late. I am having one of those days where I could not get my day started and I was running very behind and forgot to send Glenda a link to join me today.
Well, let's keep it real. I forgot what day it was. I think we're both kind of having a day. I got your email about Talk About It Tuesday, and I was sewing, and I'm like, oh, yeah, today's Tuesday. so
what's funny,
we can do this together.
I sent you an email and told you I was having a day and might be late into the studio, but I'd be here. And you didn't tell me you didn't have a link until we were in chat. And I'm like, why are you not coming up? And then just a few minutes before we're supposed to go live, you tell me I don't have a link.
It's okay. You know what?
And then it hits me, and then I have a crisis. And
no crisis. This is about giving yourself grace Tuesday. I think that's what it needs to be. Like every day you have a motto. Today is about giving yourself grace.
It is.
And then sometimes you have to give that fire, you know what I mean? But today is take it back. We're going to talk about it and we're going to give ourselves grace. And I hope everybody, if you're having a bad day, you give yourself some grace, because I'm doing it right now because I forgot.
Yeah. I to be keeping it real. This is Keep It Real Tuesday.
That's it.
I have, because I do Meet Me Monday, I meet so many channels. And I don't want to just meet them on Monday and forget them on Tuesday. I want to, Molly.
Hi, Molly. Oh.
Here we go. Okay, for a few seconds, we're okay. I don't want to just forget about them come Tuesday. I want to continue to support them, but I have to rotate. I can't visit every single channel every single day and give them the attention that they're due.
Right.
It is so hard once you've met 100 channels, 200 channels, to keep up with them and give them the attention they're due.
Well, imagine this. There's another channel I've had this conversation with. Imagine this. Just imagine. You have a life.
I know.
Isn't
that crazy?
You are best, and you have to live your life. YouTube is not everything, but we try to rotate around and try to spread the love. And that's what I do. And a lot of times I podcast style, but I can't. I'm in the same boat as you, Karma. Girl, this is just,
Well, plus I have 16 cats that I'm caring for, 6 of which are mine.
Right.
3 of those are pregnant.
Great.
2 of those are due with babies any day. Well, I take that back.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I know for certain is due March 24th.
Oh, that's awesome. Right around the corner.
And the other one is the mother of the other 9.
Oh my goodness.
And she is due sometime.
Okay.
Anytime.
You're on baby watch.
I'm on baby watch. Exactly.
That's kind of important. Just
and my 6, 2 of them have to live in separate rooms because they can't get along.
Right.
So they're out of the equation. I have 14 in Gen Pop, and I don't have anywhere else to isolate the moms.
Right.
My 4 that are in Gen Pop, I have this one who is usually the being bullied, becoming the bully to a couple of them.
Yeah.
And so I'm having to watch her because every now and then she decides she's going to go all out after the main mother, Caroline.
Oh.
And then she decides she's going to go all out after Darla, who is one that just one day she doesn't want to be held. She'll allow me to touch her sometimes. She will go all out after her. She just one day decided she was moving into the house and she was not going back out.
Oh my.
And she is in no danger of getting pregnant because she will not go back outside. So she comes into heat about every 12 days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then we have Skippy. And you see Skippy on the live sometimes with Logan. He's our big, huge, fluffy cat. And for whatever reason, he's been neutered.
Right.
But every time one of the girls goes into heat, he thinks he's a Tom. And sometimes the girls appreciate it.
Sure.
And one of the girls absolutely wants nothing to do with the guys, even though she comes into heat. So there's fights periodically with him. So, and then Turtle, who has been on the live with me sometimes, well, once in a while, he got his name honestly. His actual name is Thurston Yowl, because 4 of my cats were named after Gilligan Island.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And his name is Thurston Yowl. He's my favorite.
Oh,
sorry, Molly. Didn't mean to say that in front of you.
Shh, cover her ears. Molly, you're still number 1, baby girl. Look at that beautiful kitty cat. Look at you. You know you're number 1. Tell everybody she got it wrong. I'm number 1. That's right. She knew. She knew. She saw me. I'm like, you just keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Herself number 1, whether she is or isn't.
Yeah.
No, Thurston came by his name honestly because he can be a little imp.
Aww.
And his name is Turdy. His nickname is Turdy, Turtle, Turd, because he is one.
He's a little turd.
So he's curious.
Aww.
And he will, once in a while, just out of the blue, attack, but he doesn't attack to fight. He attacks to say, hey, I'm here. This is my domain.
Right.
It's just reminding you. Or just to say, haha, I got you. You know, he's not out for blood.
Right. Right.
So,
right.
and usually I can just say, hey, where's my good boy, Turdy? Be a good boy. And he'll back off. Or if he's not backing off, I can say, Thurston.
Back it up.
Call his full name, he knows. Like a kid.
Yeah. Oh, chickens are that way too. I've got one. I'm sitting back going, it's a little too soon. We're in the beginning of March. What in the world is going on? She's broody. I mean, you open that nest box and she pops up and she goes, Wah! like you just saw her naked or something, you know? And I'm going, oh, her name's Midnight. And I'm like, Midnight. It's too soon. And we don't have a rooster, but she wants to be a mom. And she comes out and she, well, if this doesn't break pretty soon, she's about to go into broody jail. where we separate her from the flock,
Right.
and then we put a fan on her. She gets all of the amenities. She is in a kennel, but we get her a fan, we get her all the treats, all the love, and then I take her out and I'll put her away from the flock on grass, because I don't want her in that kennel the whole time, but I need her to stay away from that flock to break her of it, because we don't have a rooster, so we do not need her services of being a mom.
Have you ever thought of getting fertilized eggs and putting them under her?
No. Okay, back that up. I did one time, and there is videos on it. And so we had two broody mamas. We had Midnight and Coco. They're friends. Okay. Chickens have friendships. I'm not even playing. Okay, so these two girls are best friends. And when one goes broody, then we get the next one broody. But it's too soon for Coco to go broody. She hasn't even laid eggs yet. So I think we've got about a month or so before she'll start doing this. But so we did put fertilized eggs underneath the girls when they went broody.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, two of them were not viable. Okay, because I candled them. And then another one, the egg broke, and another one, Coco killed after it was hatched. And so we think that there was something wrong with the chick, because there were other chicks hatched, and one of them, where the flock that I had gotten him from, they had a disabled birth. So that tells me there was something wrong. And then they lost, all their eggs hatched, and then they just lost them one by one. So there was something wrong with the group of eggs that we had gotten. Would I do that again? No, never again. Because I'm certainly not against a broody mama raising hens or chicks. Sorry, I'm not against it. Where I live at, and the situation of being a backyard chicken keeper, a small backyard chicken keeper, I don't want a bunch of chickens, and I don't want a bunch of roosters either. We live in the city limits. City bans chickens. I own chickens legally because they're on my friend's property. When you look at my house, you think they're actually on my property. I've been turned into the city. The guy and I, we good, as I like to say, we good, right to the heart, good. Just because of the situation that I'm in, absolutely never again. If we were to ever move, if we were to have a farm and have land, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Would you be able to move the chicks along to someone else looking for them?
No, because I live in a city that bans them. I would have access to people who would want them.
Well, what I mean is, if maybe someone else in the county, in the country.
I don't know anybody other than my friends, and I would be giving back the chickens to their farm, and I would be, it might not be a good situation. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to give them too many roosters. Because they have plenty of roosters. They have a few flocks of chickens, groups, and so they have the right ratio. So unfortunately,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But if I had land, and didn't have to worry about the city, or even if the city would allow chickens, maybe I'd consider it. Right. But if you saw how small the coop was, how small the run is, you'd understand why you don't want to overcrowd the situation. Absolutely. And in our current thing, I am maxed out. I can't even add chicks this year. If I wanted to I order mine from Hatchery, Meyer Hatchery in upstate Ohio. And even if I wanted to order chicks, I don't have the space for them in the coop. My coop was built for 8 birds and I have 10. So we're going to have to let the girls are going to be 5 years old at the end of the month. Actually, the 23rd of March, which is kind of funny. You mentioned you got a cat due on the 24th. The old flock was born on the 23rd of March in 2020, so they will be 5 years old this year. We're now starting we're in that range of their maxing out their life cycle.
Right.
But they will live until they naturally die. We're not going to put them down. So, yeah. So it'd be nice, but not in my personal situation. Yes, Jessie.
Hey, Jessie.
Lady talking about my chicks again.
I tell you what, I am so out of it today. I have not even greeted chat.
Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There's somebody named Grace and Fire with Glenda in chat. She was here first.
Who is she? I don't know who she is.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's some crazy lady.
And then somebody, Lewis Acre Farm Karma, was in chat. I don't know. She seems to be wearing this Texas hat. I don't know where she would have gotten it.
I have no idea. I haven't figured that out.
And then Rebecca, Touched by Yarn.
Our favorite
precious friend.
Oh my gosh, favorite. Beautiful hats that she makes. I mean, just gorgeous.
Yeah. And let's see. Come on, scroll. You can do it. Ronson, my wonderful, precious son. Welcome. I'm so glad you could be here. I love it when you're here, son. And the Garden Kitchen with Tracy. I don't know if you guys were here for my live yesterday, but Tracy is so sweet. She has the most wonderful channel. So calming, so relaxing, a wealth of information. And you gotta watch her video for the cream cheese pecan pie. That is on the menu for Easter. I'm telling you, we are going to try that.
It looked good. I
love pecan pie, but I can't eat much of it because it is so sticky sweet. And I just don't like sticky sweet things, even though I love pecan pie. So this is going to just knock it out of the park. I am certain of that. Yeah. I cannot wait to try it.
It looks good.
And there's other recipes on there too that just look so good. And I can't wait to go back and finish watching her videos when I get a moment. And Troy, I'm so glad you're here. You are here more times than not. And I just appreciate your show of support.
He's amazing. And he's an overcomer. He's had quite the health battle. And let me tell you, God's working right through him. He
absolutely.
Yes.
And then there's some crazy lazy people in here too.
I know. The lazy king and queen.
Absolutely.
I mean, they keep saying it's lazy.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
They're waiting. But I think they're already lazy now. I mean,
I think you need to retract that. There's one lazy person.
Yeah.
And
then the shipping department. My gosh, that girl.
I know. She just knocks it out of the park.
I think she needs to go have a massage. She needs to go stay at the spa.
Absolutely.
A retreat away from somebody that works her to death.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a bonus time now, just saying.
Yeah, definitely. She deserves a day off.
She does. Absolutely. Get a facial, get, back massage. I mean, she's got to write all those letters out. You got to massage. She's got to massage the arms. I mean.
Speaking of letters from Miss Lisa, we picked up Logan's package from her yesterday. Aww. And he had won whatever.
I know.
He won the hat last week in our live that was dedicated to Miss Lisa. And he received his hat. And the sweetest, most beautiful handwritten note in there with his hat. But not only a hat, he got a big pouch of freeze-dried milk duds.
Oh, those are so good.
They are wonderful. And he looked at those and his eyes bugged out. And we had just finished eating dinner when he opened up his box.
Oh.
And I was listening to the Vineyard Chicks. He proceeded to open that package and he shared. I appreciated that so much.
Aww.
And it was gone in no time.
What? They're good. I haven't done any of the milk duds yet, but we've been working on, I did some Skittles, and I do not like Skittles like plain. I think it's the chewiness. It's not a texture thing. I just don't like the chewing of it. It hurts my jaw. But I love it when they're freeze dried. So I have a freeze dryer. So I freeze dried mine, and we've been working on those. I'm like, oh, this is dangerous.
He saved all the dust for me. I love the end of the bag, the dust. Tip it up and get a mouthful of that.
Or you can even, if you ever get another one, save it and then put it on ice cream. Have the little chocolate.
Oh. Well, I don't eat a lot of ice cream.
Oh.
But I'm not ashamed to admit that I just tip it up and let it pour.
That's good. Okay, good. It's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
But I'll tell you what she made and sent to me one time was the freeze-dried bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
They're like candy. They
are.
Oh, they're so good.
I hear freeze-dried grapes are out of this world.
I'm not a fan. I tried it and I didn't care for it. But
really?
I like freeze-dried pineapple. Now that when it makes it super sweet. Those sugars come out and it is.
We got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Hold that thought on freeze drying.
Okay, go ahead.
We got stuck on Lazy Days Ahead, and we were calling both of them lazy. We had to backtrack.
I know we did.
Lisa is not lazy.
No, and he's out walking Toby is what he said. So he's making her get out and walk now. I mean, good grief, the girl needs a day at the spa, Jesse. You're making her going out walking with Toby. You're making her write all these letters. She's got that shipping department going. Day at the spa. That's what she needs.
Our treasured home. I've heard the channel name, but I'm not very familiar with your channel. But welcome in. I am very, very happy to have you here today. Let's see. Crafty Witch, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. You are going to be my guest, I believe, on Monday. I haven't gotten your thumbnail created, but I'm going to try to work on that tonight and get the live set up. If not tonight, I will do it tomorrow, and I will get the link sent to you.
She's got you. Today is just a day of giving herself grace. Don't worry about it. Don't backtrack. It's a good day. It's a good day to have a good day.
Anyway, so now I am caught up. Okay, now back to freeze drying.
Yeah.
So what other fruits have you done?
Well, I tried the grapes and I'm just not a fan. I grow aronia berries, or a choke berry is what it's called. Not a choke cherry, a choke berry. And they are high in vitamin C. They have a lot of antioxidants in them. And oh Lord, no. You got this wrong, Jesse.
No. Get Toby to lick your feet or something.
That's right. Let Toby take care of that. No. Lisa needs to go to the spa. But so I've done aronia berries, which you use it like with elderberry. and you make your syrup. So it's an added boost of vitamin C and antioxidants. I make elderberry syrup. And so when I do it, I'll make it with that and then just kind of give that extra punch. Now, you don't want to eat them. They are so tart. I've tried it.
Oh, okay.
You want to do it with like a tincture or with your syrup is what you want to do. So I have 2 of those bushes, and so I freeze dry those. And then I mean, I've done apples freeze dried, which is so good.
So good.
It's not, so I have a dehydrator too. Mm-hmm. It's not the same as dehydrate. It actually puffs them out. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I love to do with it is put a little bit in my oatmeal. Because essentially, when you buy apple cinnamon oatmeal, guess what you're getting? You're getting freeze dried apples in that pre-made stuff. So I like it because I get mine locally, my apples, and they taste sweeter.
Yeah. Oh,
that is so good. And then freeze-dried strawberries. I can't keep those around. My oldest little one, when she comes over, it's like, Gigi, and then she wants the strawberries. She knows exactly where the jars are at. And that little one, she eats them. And we have to be careful, because we don't want her eating too many, okay? Right. But I'm okay with, I support a local farm to get my strawberries. I'm working on building up my strawberry beds, so it may be a little bit of time before I get enough to freeze dry to keep up with her. But I will go out and I'll pick 4 and 5 flats of strawberries and come home and slice them all up, get them in the freezer, and then just kind of process through it. And then I also freeze dry like my vegetables that come from the garden. I have, like, for example, I'm just going to talk peppers. Like, I love bell peppers. So I grow a bunch of them out in my garden, and then I'll chop them up and I'll freeze them and just throw them in the freezer, right? And if I don't get through them in 1 year, I will literally just start freeze drying them because the next year will come around and I'm getting fresh, right? So then I freeze dry the older, like the year before, and I make my own veggie powder. I'll throw onions in there because I freeze onions too. I'll throw onions in it. I'll throw bell peppers. I've done tomatoes. I've done spinach with it. I mean, whatever's out in the garden, green beans, I've done that too. And then I'll just pulse it up into a powder. And let me just say, putting that into like meatloaf, spaghetti, I mean, just different kinds of recipes, it elevates the flavor. Or soups. I put it in soups and stews. Completely game changer. And I'm just kind of cleaning my freezer out, rotating it. So I'm always getting, because I like frozen bell peppers and like frozen onions when I'm cooking. I don't really like it freeze dried and having to rehydrate it. But that's how I kind of like rotate my freezer. So I'm always keeping fresh. And then I do use my powders. And I have people asking for it. I'm like, it's just whatever's in the garden, left over in my freezer, blend it into a powder. And then the other thing I like to do, at Thanksgiving, you go and you buy stuff to make a turkey. So it's your onions, your celery, garlic, onion, celery, garlic, carrots. That's the other one, right? So you cook with it, but then, you're stuck with all this left over. And I don't personally sit and eat a carrot fresh, and I don't personally sit and eat celery. My mother is a celeryaholic. I can't stand it. Okay, not my jam. But I freeze dry my leftovers, so I'm not wasting. And then when I need a soup or I'll need some for blending the powder up. That's what I like. I'm sorry, not on my freeze dryer topic, but that's what I like doing. I
want a freeze dryer so bad. But the electric in our house isn't the best. And from what I understand, you need a 220 outlet for it. You don't? That's what I've been told.
Nope. I have you want to stay with a medium or a small, which I have a medium. And I plug it right into my 110. It's about the same amount of electricity as running a refrigerator.
Okay.
But you just plug it into your 110.
I could then set it up in our spare bedroom where one of our cats lives.
Mine's in my guest room. Because I don't know where else to put it. I thought about putting it in my office, but my office gets too hot sometimes.
Yeah, we just have a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And that's where our second room is, where one of the cats lives that we have to have isolated from everybody else. And so if I kept it covered when it's not in use,
absolutely,
then that would be doable.
Yeah, and the other thing is Costco is selling them, hashtag not sponsored. And they're what did I see? Either 15 or 1600 is what I saw, which is about half the price of what I paid for mine. Now it's a great starter one. And I think it's beneficial. I was talking to somebody who just doesn't have the money to buy it. The only thing is you can't do a layaway with it, which is how I purchased mine. I did a layaway with it and I just made payments, and it's interest free. And when it was paid off, they sent it. Which
would be good for us.
That's how the only way we could afford it. Only. And I think Jesse can speak to this a little bit better, but I think they got theirs on a scratch and dent sale.
And so, can you still do layaway on scratch and dent though?
I think the answer is yes, but Jesse can speak better to this than me. So I don't want to give a thing. But I didn't know about scratch and dent. Otherwise, I would have done that. I would have loved to have had some money off on mine. But
I don't care what it looks like as long as it functions properly.
Right.
You know, I have a dehydrator, but it's so loud and I have so little counter space. I literally have very little counter space. I have a microwave and I have a coffee pot. I have an air fryer. And an Instapot. And I have a small, one of those little stand mixers. I have no more counter space. And if I want to use one, I have to move stuff around to be able to use it.
Yeah.
And there's no space to put a dish drainer for the things that don't go in the dishwasher. And you know, even my cupboard space is really, my kitchen is spacious as far as it's not like a one-butt kitchen.
Okay.
But it's not functional.
Girl, that was the story of my life up until I renovated our kitchen. Yeah, I mean, you're so speaking what I went through for 12 years. I understand. I hated our previous kitchen. I hated it. I couldn't get my dishwasher. We had a dishwasher. So the stove sat like this, and the dishwasher was like this, right, in the corner. So it's like I'm looking at it like this, right? So in order to open the dishwasher, I had to open the oven like down, and then I could get the dishwasher on top. Or,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it was a nightmare. And I hated it. I hated the storage. It's now fixed, but it was before the renovation, the smallest kitchen I have had, except for my first one when we lived in a Japanese apartment. Now that was the smallest kitchen I've ever had. But before renovation, in many years, I hated it. I mean, my first kitchen was fine because we had just gotten married. We had nothing. Okay, we had nothing, so it was fine. But when you have a family, you've built a family, you got years behind you, and so then you're buying your deep fryer, you're buying your crock pots, you're buying your Instapots, you're buying your toasters. You know, you start kind of accumulating things that you use. I hear that loud and clear, Karma. I mean, like, I have not forgotten that frustration. So I understand you. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Now,
Well,
I don't have room for the freeze dryer in the kitchen. I probably could put it in the kitchen, but nah.
yeah. I am working hard at getting us, now that Logan has a good paying job, I am working at getting us out of debt. And if everything goes according to plan, we should be out of debt, other than our normal everyday necessity bills.
Right.
We should be out of debt before the end of summer. I know, because we don't have a mortgage.
Right.
I paid the house off before Logan ever found me on Facebook.
Right.
Gosh, it's been 14 years ago he found me. We will be together 14 years in June. And so.
Yeah. Oh no, my kitchen had more problems than that. Did you not see the stuff fall out of the cabinets? And we had a lot in our garage too. Now it's all in the kitchen where it belongs. And then our
Jesse, I think I am on their mailing list, and I have gotten their emails from time to time about it. Yeah. I just never had any money, so it was pointless to even look at the emails.
So my recommendation would be to go ahead and call Harvest Right. It's not going to cost you a penny, right?
Right.
Call them and say, hey, I'm interested in scratch and dents. Do you have any right now? And then say, what's your layaway plan? Let them explain it to you. And then you can take that information. That's what I didn't know about scratch and dents. I wish I had, because I would have loved to have saved the money. But I called and I just said, listen, I don't really have the money, but I want one. How can I make this work?
Yeah. I was lost to Logan before he found me. And he was lost to me before he found me.
I love that. I love that. But no, I would just have that conversation with them. It's not going to cost you anything. And at least, if you walk away and say, now is not the time, that's okay. I at least know I have answers. That's what I did. And I took about a year to pay mine off. Slowly made those payments.
Yeah.
Which, when it was paid off, I was like, woohoo!
We also need to get a second vehicle. And so
that's important.
Kind of need to decide which is a priority.
I think a car.
Yeah, I kind of think so too.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I can't blame you. I would do the same thing, a vehicle first.
What's the matter, Mama?
Aw.
What's the matter, Mama?
No need to have your freeze dryer in a separate room. Yeah. Oh, you need to have it. Yeah. I like being able to shut the door to that freeze dryer so I can sleep through the night. So, yeah, you do need it in a separate room. But I will say it has paid for itself. No pressure, Karma. I'm just telling you, like, from my experience.
Yeah.
It has paid for itself. Having a garden, and then making treats for the service dog. Within 6 months, it had itself paid for. And then, I don't know. We went at the beginning. We were making freeze-dried liver treats, because those are expensive. We had to stop because of copper storage disease for the service dog, but we did make our money back. And then when we were told we had to stop because of medical, we stopped. Then we switched over to freeze drying marshmallows, plain marshmallows, not from the store with the W, because of tilapia being in their marshmallows. So yeah, for the longest time, the big W store with the GV brand,
Uh-huh.
had tilapia in their marshmallows for the longest time. I think they've
Oh,
stopped,
disgusting.
but I had to flip it because I have someone. I didn't know this. I have a kiddo that. Well, I mean, I knew I had a kiddo, but I have a kiddo that's allergic to fish, and I was told, Mom, go pick up that bag and flip it over. And so, yeah, copper's in tilapia, so I had to quit. So I went to other brands. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we freeze dry marshmallows, which is good. It's paid for itself with the eggs and milk we have. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I freeze dry all my eggs when I'm in a surplus. And then milk, my husband and I don't drink milk. It's not something that we enjoy. So I'll go get a gallon of fat-free milk and I'll freeze dry it. And then if we need some, then it's half milk powder, half water, put it together, mix it up, let it sit for a minute or two. And then like I make biscuits and gravy from scratch. So that's what I use a lot of it for when I'm doing that. And apia, yeah. I think they've stopped because I haven't seen it for a little while, but there for the longest time, tilapia was in it. You probably can Google it and look at the back, like from your previous bags.
I was going to show you kind of the way my house is laid out.
Yeah, let's see.
Let me see if I can do this the right way. No, it didn't do it.
Okay.
That's not the one.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Let me fold this so I can see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay. So, this over here is the front end of the house.
Okay.
On this side over here. Get it right. That's all windows on this end.
Oh, wow.
It's a double wide. And then right here, this is the front side of the house. And this right here is where you come in. Mm-hmm. And there's like a half wall right there.
Mm-hmm.
And where my other finger is the living room. Mm-hmm. And it's wide open over to there, mm-hmm. which is the dining room. Mm-hmm. And then that little thing in the middle there is like a angle wall. One side of it is in the living room and one side is in the dining room.
Oh,
and
okay.
There's a little walkway right there between the dining room and the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And that's where the refrigerator sits on the outside wall right there. Up, back the other way. Yeah. Anyway, you get it.
I do.
And then there's cupboards on the one angle right there. There's like a pantry, but there's a built-in oven with cupboards above and below.
Oh, nice.
And then right here, there is a breakfast bar.
Oh, I've always wanted one of those. That's so cool.
A little short breakfast bar.
Oh, those are so cool.
Where I have to feed the cats because otherwise the dog gets into it.
Oh, yeah. So you're putting it up on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the one counter they're allowed on. And then there's down below the part that holds the breakfast bar up, there is a cupboard, but it's like inaccessible. It's so hard to get to.
Yeah.
And then over on this wall,
right,
there's a little short counter space between the refrigerator and the sink.
Okay, I'm tracking.
And then on this here, between the sink and the wall, there's a little teeny tiny counter with cupboards up above it.
Yep.
It's hard to get to. And then you have your stovetop on the piece that comes right here.
So do you have a flat top, like the glass top?
It's just a traditional electric stovetop.
Okay. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Just a drop-in stovetop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's on the counters that go right here.
Okay.
And there's a little tiny nook of counter space right in here.
Okay.
It's almost unusable.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to get to.
Yeah.
And then there's a little tiny stretch of, I think it might be maybe 3 feet of counter right there between the end of the counter and the stovetop. And there's cupboards on that little section and cupboards above the stove. But the cupboards above the stove are really wasted space because the stovepipe
Yeah.
pipe is up there.
Why do they do that? I mean, I've had kitchens like that. It's like, it drives you crazy. It's like, why is this cabinet there? Why didn't you just build that in the wall?
And then over here, behind the kitchen, is the utility room.
Okay.
And on this wall right here is a built-in desk. This area is all wide open. There's no hallway. And this area right here is just a great big, huge open room that right now is basically storage.
Okay.
And then behind this, on this wall here, is the first bathroom. And this is the spare bedroom. And then this whole back end over, which way? Over in here, where I am right now.
Yeah.
This on this side is the master bathroom. And then there's like a little hallway where the sink is.
Yeah.
And then this whole end over here is the bedroom, the master bedroom.
That's a similar plan. You live in a double wide. We used to live in a trailer, like just a single wide when we lived in Idaho. And that's set up very similar just as the single wide is what we lived in.
Yeah, this is a double wide. It's a 24 by 48 and it's a 77.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember what year it was because we were renting the property, but when we lived in Mountain Home, we lived in a single wide trailer, and all that, like up at the front, it was kind of like similar setup, even with the kitchen, except for it was a single wide.
Mm-hmm.
Now going back, the hallway was different, but just the front end.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. There are no hallways except for the short, like maybe 6 or 8 feet.
Yeah.
From the bedroom to the shower and toilet.
Yeah.
And it's a really wide hallway. Mm-hmm. And there's there's 2 closets in the master bedroom. Mm-hmm. There's one over on the wall for the first bathroom, and then there's one on the wall across from the sink before you go into the shower, bathtub, toilet area of the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With your front windows, is that like where you can, like, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, this is what my random thought was. Gosh, you've got all those windows. That'd be a great place to start all your seeds out with that sun. Is the sun coming in at the right? No.
It is. Well, no, it's south facing.
Yeah.
So get the sun.
Yeah.
But
not as much.
They're just little tiny ledges, first of all.
Oh.
And cats.
Oh, true. I was just thinking, gosh, that would be my thought with all those windows. Like, oh, that'd be my place to put my seeds starting out right up against that window.
It would be ideal, but cats.
Yeah,
they
no,
climb.
Not so much.
Even if I could put them up high, they climb.
Yeah.
And so
I get it.
Actually, last year when I started my seeds, I have a shelf in the utility room, and I put them on there, and I tried putting a heating pad under them. I had little grow lights on them. I tried everything that I could think of. trying to start my seeds in the house. You know when I had the most success? It was when I took them outside, put them in the greenhouse when I was still getting below 30 temperatures at night, and I left them and let them grow in normal conditions outside. And they would get nice and toasty in the daytime and cold at night.
I 100% believe it, because I use milk jugs, and I'll do winter seed sowing, and it's about time for me to start the tomatoes and the bell peppers winter seed sowing, so that way whenever it's time for them to wake up, they'll do it. And I will do some there, and I will be doing some indoors too, because I personally enjoy it, but I can shut off, and I have no critters that come up here. Like, this is my own private office. I can shut that door and keep everybody out. You know what I mean? So I will be doing some indoors, but I believe that it worked perfectly because I've done it. It's a hands-off approach and just letting nature do what nature does best.
Yeah.
And you had stronger plants because of that too. I bet the root systems were amazing.
Yeah. Seeds that would not germinate in the house, as soon as I put them outside, they germinated.
Yep.
Seedlings that were growing and they were spindly, they were dying within a couple of days, put them outside, they were sprouting, they were strong, they were healthy, they were growing, they were plants. They were putting on their true leaves quickly. But I actually, in fact, if you'll hold the conversation,
I hold it. Yeah.
I will go get my growing. It's brand new this year that I'm going to try.
Oh yeah, I want to see.
It's called a biodome. And
okay. Yeah, I heard you talking about it for Survival Seeds 25.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll just turn my camera off.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Just
stop your cam is what it says at the bottom.
How do I do that? Because I don't have.
At the bottom. There she goes. She kicked herself out. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. It paid for itself with. Oh yeah. You were talking about the freeze dryer with the eggs and the milk you freeze dried, and then let's see. Anybody else getting seeds started? And if you are, let me know how you're starting your own seeds. I am in zone 7A, but really I call it 6B because I don't necessarily agree with the changes. And yeah, now we can go wild, Ronson. Absolutely, party. Let's get the party started so when Karma gets back, she can be dancing too with all of us. But anyhow, I started peppers and tomatoes. Awesome. It is time for me to start mine. And I bought some seed starting kits, and I've got to get them pulled out because you can reuse these. I spent a little extra a couple years ago on this brand, and so this will be my third year using it because it's super strong. But it is time for me to start the tomatoes and the bell peppers. And then, like I said, I have milk jugs too that are ready to rock and roll. And so I'm going to be getting those going. Another thing that I really like doing the winter seed sowing is I like doing perennial flowers, which are amazing, and artichokes. For whatever reason, if I start artichokes in my house, I do not have success whatsoever with growing them. I find that those do better winter seed sowing, and I think that's because they need the sunlight. And again, those milk jugs are protected. You always take the cap off, throw the cap away, because whatever moisture can hit into it, whether it be snow or rain, you want it to hit inside there to keep those moist. But yeah, I love winter seed sowing in my area. Started them in February, so gonna start the rest in 3 weeks. Crafty Witch, what grow zone are you in? You don't have to say where you're at, just the grow zone. And if you agree with your grow zone, I'm kind of curious. I think Karma and I are both on the same one. She is, I believe she's a 7A as well. which I disagree with. For at least for me, I go by 6B because I absolutely will not put my summer crops in the ground until the Kentucky Derby weekend. I live close to Churchill Downs, about 20 minutes away from it. And yeah, that's the weekend that we always put ours in. Okay, I want to see what you've got.
Okay, I have 2 different sizes.
All right, let's see.
And let me see if I figure this out again.
They say 5, but it really depends. So Crafty Witch is a Grow Zone 5.
Okay, so this is a biodome. This is the smaller one.
Okay.
And this is the base here, just a basic tray.
Mm-hmm.
However, and it's nice and rigid. It's no real wobble.
It's nice and thick. It looks like one that'll last from year to year. Hello, Mrs. G.
And then you have a piece of very rigid styrofoam with holes in it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then it has little holes in between the bigger holes.
Right.
For airflow. And it sits down inside like that.
Huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. And it comes with a little pouch of some measured
food
fertilizer or food. And it tells you everything that's in it and how to mix it. And then it comes with these.
Oh, the little pods, like the peat moss type little.
It's a spongy, all natural medium of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You never can tell which direction to go.
That's kind of like the Arrow Garden ones.
And yeah, it's just a little spongy thing.
Okay.
And there's a little hole in the center.
Uh-huh. Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you put one seed in each hole, each of these little things. And you just drop it in there. Make sure it's seated down inside.
Mm-hmm.
And you put one seed in there. And then you could use the little holes to put your plant marker to identify
that's cool.
what you're planting in there.
Oh, I like that. Uh-huh.
And then when you have it all ready to go, you have this rigid plastic lid that sits on top. And it has these 2 vents on it that you can adjust the airflow.
That looks familiar to me. Is that a Park Seed brand?
Yes.
Hot dog. I thought so. I've seen those.
And if you have the Park Seed app, the From Seed to Spoon, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And that from Seed to Spoon app will tell you. Welcome in, Mrs. G. I'm not sure.
I've never seen Grow 7. I think she's a Grow Zone 7. Because while you were gone, I asked what Grow Zone. Hey, CB, welcome in.
Hi, welcome in, Huga Homestead.
Yeah, her name's CB.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm curious how that thing works, though.
When you have that From Seed to Spoon app, you get notified of their sales. I got this one for, I can't remember if it was 50% off.
Wow.
40% off.
Either way, yeah.
Now, this one is the single, and there are 60 cells 60 grow cells in this. You can put 60 plants in this one little tray.
That's amazing.
And then, let me put these all back together because I don't want them mixed up.
I looked at those a couple of years ago, and I just wasn't sure how that they work. So I'm going to be really curious how it does for you now. Since now I know someone who's got one. And I kept looking at it going, that looks familiar. Why is that familiar? Okay.
This is the double.
Oh, wow.
And I chose the one that had the bigger holes so that I could have bigger plants.
Absolutely.
And it actually has, it came with the bigger sponges to accommodate bigger seeds, bigger plants.
You'll need those for like tomatoes, bell peppers,
squash.
Yep.
Yeah. And
I like that.
This is what the bigger blocks of styrofoam look like.
So it's not plastic, it's styrofoam.
This is, yes.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize that.
I'm pressing on it and it's not collapsing.
Yeah, I was saying
I'm giving it a lot of pressure.
That is cool.
I want you guys to know I am not sponsored by them. Yeah. I am not given any kickbacks by them.
Sure.
I'm just telling you, I love the app. I have done an interview with them last fall. And these people, in order to be able to bring more to the people who use the app, in order to give a better app, they sold the app to Park Seed.
Well, and Park Seed's a really good company. I've purchased seeds from them before.
Okay, I never have.
Company.
I personally never have, but I do know that they have a lot of really good stuff available. Their prices are a little more than what others are, but I know that they take a lot of pride in their products.
Well, it's quality. You're going to pay for quality.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I've bought things from them many times before. I'm trying to think. There was a seedless watermelon that I got, and I'm wondering if I still have the package, because when you order a seedless watermelon, you have to have a seeded to go with it. You can't just put a seedless watermelon in and expect it to give you fruit. You have to put a seeded one so it cross-pollinates. And so I bought some from them. Fabulous year that I had watermelon. And this has been several years ago. I've purchased lavender seeds, and I still have the lavender from them. Blanket flowers I've bought from them. Okay. I'm trying to think, like, I've bought several things from them, Park Seed, and they're really good company. And it's so ironic that you bought that biodome, because I'm like going, I know this looks familiar. I know it.
I got both of these biodomes. I think I got the little one for 50% off. I got the double for 40% off. Here's the thing. When you use their app, they have Wow Wednesdays. I think that's what they call it. Wow Wednesday deals. And you never know what it's going to be. It could be seeds. It could be a tool. It could be biodomes. It could be a book. It could be fertilizer, anything.
Right.
They will put a product on for a spectacular sale on Wednesdays. Now, if you have their membership, which you don't need a membership in order to have a functional app with them.
Right.
The app membership gives you additional benefits, like instead of getting only 3 questions to GrowBot per day, you have unlimited questions to GrowBot.
Right.
Instead of having, I think it's 3 gardens that you can map out, you have unlimited.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it costs them money to store all of that on the cloud.
Sure. And I didn't know that they bought Seed to Spoon. That's new information to me. I've used Seed to Spoon before, but I've been gardening for so long that I just know when to put things in the ground. But I think it's a really great one.
It's so much more than just knowing when to put things in the ground, though. You should.
No, I mean the planning too. Yeah. No, I mean I think it's a great. What I was going to say is I think it's a great tool for somebody getting started. It may be overwhelming, and I think this is a great tool.
Glenda, I'm telling you, it has evolved. I don't know when you used it last.
About 2 years ago.
It has evolved.
Oh wow.
It has evolved.
That's amazing.
And it has evolved because they go in and they talk to, every Tuesday they have a live stream. And they interact with their followers, with their users.
That's
they
good.
Have people that are beta testers who, they're just you and me.
Yeah.
Who use the app. If you want to be a beta tester, send them an email and say, hey, I'd like to be a beta tester. You get the new features before everybody else, and you get to tell them, hey, you know what? I think if it did this, it might be easier or better.
That's good.
They fix it.
I'm not surprised because Park Seed, like I said, I've purchased seeds from them, and I feel like they are quality. Over quantity, you're getting quality. I've never, like, I can speak from being somebody on a hashtag not sponsored, but somebody who has been gardening, I mean, well over a decade. I mean, well over. I'm almost at 15 years of doing this, but not quite, but almost. Their seeds germinate. No problem. I have never purchased seeds from them that did not germinate. Quality. So I'm not surprised that they're taking that mindset of putting their customers first into the app.
Here's the thing.
It makes perfect sense with me. It's an amazing company.
The From Seed to Spoon app was developed by a couple.
Yes. Yeah.
Dan and Carrie Spoonmore.
And they had a
developed the app. They developed the app, and then they needed to be able to focus on just the app and not have a second job.
Yep.
Park Seed, and they talked about it, and Park Seed was willing to buy them in order for them to be able to focus solely on the app. And so that's how their relationship came about.
Yeah. That makes sense because I followed them on YouTube for many years. That's actually where I was introduced to Seed to Spoon because I found them like several years ago. And the amazing couple, they had chickens. I remember their chickens.
They had chickens and goats and all the things now.
Well, the little crazy chicken radar went off, but
I
was watching them before I had chickens. But yeah, I mean, a great couple. I think for me, I'm just kind of like now I know what time it is to do certain things. I'd be interested in what it's like to come back. And now that it's bought, which I didn't know, that's news.
Here's the thing though, Glenda, you can take, like if you've got one of those green stock.
I do.
Okay. You can go in and you can plan your green stock and design it in the app. And
that's new.
Yeah, it is.
That's
and
new.
You can it out. If you've got let's say you've got a 4x3 raised bed, You can plan it out in the app before you ever put it in the garden and see, well, is this going to really work? Before you start putting the plants in and say, oh, that's not really going to work out, and then you're moving plants. If you've got for instance, if somebody had a 30 by 30 garden and they wanted to try to figure out where to put everything, put it in the app and design it before they ever go out into the field and start planting it. And then they're out there like,
And I think they did square foot gardening, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's how the app used to be. It was square foot. Okay, yeah, which
you can do that too.
Companion planting is what it is.
And here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. If you try to put fennel next to broccoli,
right,
it's going to tell you whether it's a companion or not. It'll give you an alert. Hey, that's not going to work. And then it's up to you to decide, well, do I still want to plant my fennel next to my broccoli, or do I want to move one of them?
Right.
And you can color code everything. I mean, this app has evolved exponentially.
Wow. Sounds like it.
You can say, okay, I'm having gut issues. What can I plant to help heal my gut? I'm having, let's see, what's another one? I have mood problems. And I want to plant something that'll help elevate my mood. Go in there and plant a mood garden.
Sure.
You want to plant something to help with memory. It'll tell you what plants are good for memory.
Yeah.
If you want to plant a salsa garden, it'll tell you what plants are good for a salsa garden, a pizza garden.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So it sounds like.
That is the limit. Absolutely. There is something in there for everybody. It's not just knowing when to plant what.
That's how the app was when I stopped using it. That's where we were at. It was not purchased by Parkseed. That's why I said this is news to me. But I thought it was a great tool for new gardeners.
Right.
Because I think it can be overwhelming.
It can.
If you don't know like your grow zone very well, or you get a lot of gardening advice thrown at you, and some of it's good and some of it's not.
Right.
I think that I always thought this app was really good for that, and I always thought it was good for square foot gardening too, which I like square foot gardening. I mean, I'm about pack it in as much as you can.
Right.
With what space you've got. And it's an art. It's, and a science on how to plant this correctly. So I always thought it was very good, but the fact that they got bought out by Parkseed, that's something to be said. It's a company that's proven time and time again quality. Again, hashtag not sponsored, although we would like a sponsorship. I'm not charging for seeds. I admit to it.
I absolutely would welcome a sponsorship from them.
I would too. I've grown stuff from them, and I've got I'm sitting here thinking I still have more seeds left over, and I'm trying to think what's in. It's probably flowers, because I bought I like growing lavender. Lavender for me is one of the easiest things to grow, but yet it's one of the hardest things to grow for most people. Yeah. And I love it.
I absolutely love that they are interactive with their
clientele.
Yeah. And they're always looking for new things to do. Here's another feature that you can do. If you buy seeds from a company that I personally really like is Baker Creek.
Oh yeah, Baker Creek's
I can't tell you how many seed packets from Baker Creek. Seed to Spoon is sponsored by Parkseed. So all of their products, all of their seeds that they have uploaded in the app are Parkseed.
Right.
Well, maybe they don't have the variety that I plant because it comes from Baker Creek. Whip out my phone, whip out my seed packet, scan it. It uploads every bit of information from my seed packet into the app, even though it's from Baker Creek.
The thing about the Baker Creek, though, I love their seeds. I love their company. I like their principles. I wish that they had more information on the back of the seed packet. I also purchased from Johnny's Seeds. And Johnny's, I'm telling you, they are so detailed. That and what's the other one that there's another company.
I ordered from Botanical Interest last year. And while they have tons of information, 90% of it's on the inside of the packet.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't care for that. Yeah.
While their seeds may be good, what good is it if you have to tear the package open to get the information?
Yeah. Let me see.
So I said, forget it. I'll never order from them again.
I'll be right back.
All right. But anyway, I know I sound like a commercial for the From Seed to Spoon app, but I'm telling you guys, you do not need the membership to make use of the membership. I will tell you that if you have the membership, you get 15% off of anything that you order except for the sale items. But they have incredible sales on Wednesdays. And the membership is not expensive. If you participate in their Tuesday live stream, which takes place at 11 o'clock Mountain, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, the more that you comment during the live stream, the more entries you have in a chance to win a membership every single week. And then if you go back during the week and you comment on the live stream that just took place, like today there was a live stream, right, and you can go back on today's live stream and comment on it and have another opportunity to win a membership to the Seed to Spoon app that it'll give you a 1-year membership to the app, right, if you comment on today's live stream, and they'll announce that winner next Tuesday. And then you watch next Tuesday's live and comment during the live and have an opportunity to win a membership. Right. And if you don't win, then you comment on that live stream during the week and have another opportunity. So you get 2 chances every week to win a membership. And you learn valuable information every single week during their live stream. They're the most giving, genuine couple. And seriously, they take every single idea and thought to heart. And if there's a seed or a plant that you're interested in that you would like to see added to the app, like somebody wanted peanuts added, Carrie is diligently working hard to add peanuts, and I don't even know how long her list of plants is to be added to the app. But anyway, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about planting and getting started on this. I could just keep talking. So.
See, these are park seed.
Let me make you big.
Okay. Let me see what this is. This is cypress. It's a type of a flower, and it tells you this. See, these are park seed.
Okay.
And they come in tin, like they're metal, like they're fully sealed. Now I will tell you, these are from like a year or 2 ago, but they'll be fine. But yeah, so they tell, and they have really good detail. It's hard to see, but they have good details on the back of it. I really like it. And then these are Johnny's seeds. And then Johnny's tells you everything. Right. You know what I mean? And my gardener is another good one I get from.
Okay.
So they like, it's like $2 a package.
Mhm.
But I love seeds. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not above taking some from the local store too. You know, I'll buy them. So I have Burpee too, and I have Fairy Morris.
I did that just recently. I went and bought way too many zinnia seeds, and
And I go to seed swaps. I love a good seed swap. But what I was going to show you, hang on a second. Let me shut this door. Otherwise, the puppy will come up here and open the door. I know. Okay, so I grow loofah gourds.
I did that last year.
Now, I struggle with planting loofah gourds. So I'm not going to take it out of the package, but I get cow pots, which is poo. They're poo pots. Cow pots. So they are not like the peat pots. They are cow poo. So you're going to put manure in your ground. But this is the only way that I can grow loofah gourds.
Interesting.
You literally just put it in the ground and it'll break down and it gives your plant all of the nutrients. It's like a peat pot, but this is cow poo. It attracts microbes for healthier soil and plants, 100% plastic and peat free, made using solar energy and methane gas, reduces landfill waste, and made with recycled and post-consumer materials. It literally is the poo pot. I know that sounds awful, but I wonder
if genius.
I wonder if Johnny, with all of his cows, is sending in the poo because I'm buying the poo pots. But anyhow, I'll get my loofah gourd started. Now, again, hashtag not sponsored. When I was looking at systems where I like going to the big box stores, and I was buying the kits, for like $3 and $4 to get your seeds started. Do you know what I'm talking about? The brand starts with a J. Anyhow, I just hated that they only lasted for maybe a season or two. Might be able to get 2 seasons out. So I was looking for something a little bit stronger, and I hit a sale too. And this has been a couple of years ago. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't know what the prices are today. They might be up, but again, I hit a sale. So I got my seed starting kit from gardeners.com.
Okay.
Okay, so I like their system, and I'm going to pull this one out because this is brand new because all my other ones, I'll just got to go outside and go grab them, and I'll put this back together. But, okay, so the way that their system works, I'm going to take it all apart. Here, now they have this is a 12 cell. They have a 24. I have those downstairs. Sorry, I used mine first. But this is the bottom of the tray. I mean,
yeah, like this one.
It's tough. Okay, so then what you do, again, hashtag not sponsored, is, wait a minute, I'm missing a piece. There's a piece that goes in here. Oh, boy. Okay. Did I drop it? No, I didn't. I'm going to have to show it on the picture, but there's a piece that goes down in the bottom. It's a plastic piece, and I don't know where it went to. This is weird. I must have pulled it out and used it for something else. But you put this plastic piece, again, it's made of the same stuff, and it holds your tray up. So essentially, it's like this. Okay? But the thing that I like about it is that you pour the water into this container, and you stick this wicking mat underneath. You put that thing that I'm missing underneath of it, and then you set that up on top, and then you can go on vacation and not have to worry. Just fill the bottom tray up. You can go on vacation for a week and a half, like I have done. Fill this thing up and come back, and your plants are still watered, and they're not going to die.
Wow. That is really cool.
But I am missing this piece. It's hard to see, but you can see it sits up. There's a reason that it sits up. There's a piece that I'm missing, but it holds it like above, and then your roots, your bottom watering, because this thing is right there, and then it taps down into the water, so you're bottom watering. Actually, I didn't go on vacation. What it was 2 years ago when I bought these things, I had to go to a funeral in upstate New York. So nobody could take care of my plants for me. I had these things and I came back and they were all alive and I didn't kill any of my garden. In fact, that was the year I had 63 tomato plants. And I will not do that again. But I love this. Hashtag not sponsored, but it's from gardeners.com. Hit their sale. Don't pay the full price. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. But they're all downstairs like the full kits because they're all waiting on me to go get my seed starting. But I'll be doing that with tomatoes and things and have my trays. And I have a shelf that I use that I put up every year and I'll stack them all up, put them in front of a south-facing window, and they'll get their supplemental lighting and they'll also get the sunlight too. So, and then I have a greenhouse just a small pop-up greenhouse, nothing big and fancy, just a tiny one.
Too.
And I put them outside in April to start letting them acclimate. And
thank you for being here, Crafty Witch. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. So if, of course, I bring them in if we're having freezing weather because they start out in the house. They won't be fully ready for that, but I don't know. I've always had really beautiful tomato plants, like huge to put in the ground. And I want them up and as tall as I can possibly can because when I go to put them in the ground, I'll bury them to where they're like that far up above the ground. And then that way they concentrate on that root system. And then that's how you get big tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I want the root system first.
Last year I planted, I had 2 Marianas and I had a couple of, I think I had 3 Amish paste.
Oh, yeah.
And my Amish paste were like, they were softball size.
Yeah.
They never ripened.
Oh my gosh.
And the Marianas, the way that I finally got them to ripen is I picked a whole bunch of them and let them ripen in the house. And then finally they started ripening on the vine. Hi, Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll trim the leaves at the bottom. So that way, with tomatoes, a lot of times they'll focus their energy on putting out more leaves. So
I always trim mine. I always pull back a lot of the leaves and open it up down at the bottom. But we have so much sun and we're always at least 100 degrees or hotter from mid to late June, at least until mid-August. And very, very seldom do we drop below that 100 degree mark.
Right.
And we have very, very little shade in our yard.
And you don't have the humidity like what we get.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a dry heat.
Anyway,
yeah.
I had a really hard time protecting those tomato plants and keeping them healthy.
So what you probably need to do is keep the leaves above the tomatoes so that way it's getting some sun protection.
Yeah. And so I keep it open at the bottom and then keep the leaves up at the top as much as possible. But I found the Marianas seemed to put the tomatoes out mostly up at the top.
Yes, mine did too.
And so that kind of defeated the purpose.
Yeah. I grew them with success. In fact, a lot of them are sitting in my freezer because I really just had a busy year last year. And instead of canning a bunch of tomato products like I normally do, I just washed them and threw them in the freezer. And now I'm using them in stews, like still pulling them out, throwing them right into my crock pot when I'm making stews. So I'm getting that fresh, homegrown tomato flavor. My husband loves it when I do that versus canning them. So I think I'm going to kind of, this year, my plan is can half, freeze half. So I have long-term storage. I'm staying ahead of that long-term storage because the freezer goes out, weather can take it out or whatever, grid can go down. I'll lose it all. So I don't want to like bank it all on the freezer. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think I want to keep half in the freezer and half can it because I'm just saying this winter has been so nice just to kind of pop some tomatoes out. Or if I want to make a sauce from scratch, like I did over the summer, I made lots of sauces. I have those cherry tomatoes. And the yellow ones, you can't really can the yellow cherry tomatoes, but they make great sauces through the winter. Just pop them in the pan, heat them up, a little olive oil, garlic, and then throw in some fresh basil at the end or some freeze-dried basil. I have some of that too. Oh, it's so good.
You know what else you can do with your cherry tomatoes? Especially at the end of the year. You know how cherry tomatoes just have a burst of energy and they those tomatoes and it gets to the end of the year and you've got all those green ones at the end. Don't throw them away. Pull all those green tomatoes off and make green tomato jam.
I make green salsa with mine. I don't do the jam. I make green salsa with mine. It is amazing. I don't know.
You're missing out on a treat.
Well, I don't know because I like the green salsa probably better. Like when I make enchiladas, that green salsa is better than chili.
This recipe that I have, I can find the link and send it to you. You could make a small batch.
Yeah.
And just try it. Because it literally only made like 4.5 little jars. And you can adjust the flavoring however you want. And I'll bet you it would be really good with, because it takes a little bit of cinnamon if you want to add it. But if you added a little bit of like basil or you could change up the flavor so easy.
I don't know. I don't know. I get just enough green tomatoes at the end of the season to make my green salsa. Like I get just enough.
You could always plant one plant with the sole purpose of harvesting green.
Maybe. But I have to say at the end of the season, like when I get ready to rip off, it's just enough to make that green salsa. Oh, that's a staple in my house. In fact, I'm almost out of it and I'm going, I'm like, I want my green salsa. I'm sorry. I'm that crazy lady. And then the other thing I like to do, and I still have some in my refrigerator. Have you ever fermented salsa?
No.
I still have it because it stays in the fridge about 6 to 8 months. If you ferment it, you have to keep it in the refrigerator. You just want to eat a little bit. It's got probiotics and prebiotics. So if you have some digestive issues, it's great for gut health. Oh my gosh. Oh, and the other one that I love fermenting is jalapenos. I'll take I'll ferment them for like 4 to 5 days because with my temperature in my house, I know it sounds weird, but I can't keep those in stock either. One of my kids comes over. Oh, you're fermenting? No, that's going to affect your stomach. If you eat too many, you should just eat just a little bit. But it has those probiotics and prebiotics. That's something else that I enjoy doing. And fermenting is so easy. It's not like sauerkraut. If you don't like sauerkraut, I understand. My husband
love sauerkraut.
Okay. Well, I do too, but a lot of people don't. But if you like that twang to it, try the salsa. It only takes a couple of days to ferment it. And you just need a mason jar and then something to weigh it down. And then you just bubble it.
Like those fermenting stones?
You can use that, or you can take a rock and put it inside of a Ziploc bag. Just something to hold it down. You don't have to spend any money. You have a salt brine that you mix up, and then you cut up all your stuff to make your salsa, anything you want. I put in mine, I put tomatoes, I'll put bell peppers, I'll put jalapenos, I'll put fresh cilantro in there, a little bit of onion, and then I just weigh it down. And I have a fermenting kit, but when I first started, I didn't. So I put the lid on it, and then you just burp it a couple times a day. You burp it. But if you have the fermenting kit, which they're like under $20 if you get the kit.
I've seen them.
Yeah, on it. I did eventually get one, just because my life got too busy. But you really don't have to spend money to do it. But you just basically you want to keep it down and then burp it, and then taste it after a day or two. And if you want a little bit more fermented, let it go. But burping is huge. Make sure you're burping because you don't want anything blowing up at you. But it's super easy. And oh my goodness, it's so good for your gut health.
There's so many things I want to get into and try. And then it comes right back to counter space.
Yeah. Well, if you ferment, you want to put it in a cool, dark spot.
And it comes back to cupboard space.
Yeah.
And shelf space. And
just start with one jar. I mean, that's all I would do. One jar. Put something underneath of it so it catches. Like when you're fermenting, you don't want to just set your jar like on the shelf. Put it in a bowl or put it like a baking dish, because if you're going to let it debubble, it's even with the purchase ones, you're going to it'll shoot stuff everywhere. So
right.
You want to catch that underneath of it. So baking sheet, something, okay?
Right.
But I would start with one because you may not like it too. And that way you're not, it takes a couple of days. Yeah, I wouldn't be fermenting a bunch of things at once. Yeah. I would do maybe one jar, give it like 2 or 3 days, see if you like it. And if you do, then great. And if you didn't, well, you're out one jar.
I want to make apple cider vinegar, which I tried and failed miserably.
Oh.
And then I also want to try making kombucha.
Oh, yes.
I want to do that. I love kombucha. Certain flavors of it. I just absolutely love it.
And I
actually feel better when I drink it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better, like even Yakult. You can buy those little bottles of the Yakult.
Yep.
I feel so much better when I do that.
Because you're getting probiotics and prebiotics, and you're taking care of your gut health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherry at Black's Tropical Homestead, she makes her own ginger ale. And she has a SCOBY now that she, uses to start it over.
You can buy SCOBY from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kept seeing all these recipes. Make your own kombucha. You use a SCOBY. Well, okay, well, what's a SCOBY and how do you get it and where do you get it? And
yeah. She breaks it down for you. Yeah. I started mine, and again, I had a family emergency and I killed it. So I need to do it again. I even told her a long time ago I was going to do it again, but I just haven't. So I need to get the whip cracking, because I even bought the jars to put it in, like the homemade. Well, they're the kombucha jars, but I wanted to do the ginger ale because I love ginger ale. When I'm not feeling good, I want all things ginger, because it's so good for your gut health and calming down what might be coming up. I must say it carefully.
There's a little coffee shop here in the valley called the Flying M.
Oh,
And I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did have craft kombucha that they made. And you could, Molly.
Which would be better for you, because it's having the local, like, what is it? It's pulling in what's in the air around you. It's not being made far away. You're keeping it local. So it's good for your gut health, keeping that localness. Kind of like how honey is. It's the same thing how honey is. You always want to have your local honey for your allergies.
Yeah, and that's one of them. They had a flavor that, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. You could go and get sample tastes of it to see if you liked it. And they had a different flavor every day. They would have like 2 or 3 flavors every day. And the one flavor that I absolutely loved, sorry, Logan's home.
It's okay.
Our doorbell went off. It was lavender and honey.
Ooh, I bet that was good. Because lavender honey is really good.
Lavender and honey kombucha, fresh made.
That sounds amazing.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. So I haven't been in there in quite some time, so I'm not sure if they still are making it or not. But yeah, I really want to start dabbling in some more of this stuff. And then I actually have a book that I haven't really done a whole lot of looking and studying on it, but I'm going to start looking at it more and researching more now that I'm going to start growing my own herbs and stuff. But this is a book I bought a long time ago.
Oh, I've heard of that one. I've seen that one before.
And
it's be really good.
It has the different herbs, and it tells you how they were used in the Bible and what they're good for. Like this section is on aloes, and it gives you a scriptural reference. What's safe to use with seniors and children, and what to avoid. How to shop for the essential oils, the science behind them. And then there's a section too, like here's a section that tells you about myrrh and mint, juniper, hyssop. Hyssop's one of our herbs for the Survival Seeds collaboration.
I grow that. It's a perennial. It comes back every year. Well, I have anise hyssop, I should say. I have anise hyssop, and it's a licorice flavor, and it makes like the best tea. So I'll make sure I'm saying I have anise hyssop because there's different kinds of hyssop. But I have anise hyssop, and
I love licorice.
I even use it in my nest box herbs. It's the girls like it. It's really good for you.
Yeah, this covers so many different herbs and such. And then in the back, it has remedies and recipes. There's a couple for acne, aging skin, anxiety, arthritis. Several recipes for cellulite, chapped lips, diaper rash, fatigue, fever. There's some recipes for kitchen care, labor and delivery, lice.
Tea tree oil. I'm just going to take a look at that for lice. Go back to that. I'm going to say tea tree oil. Ask me how I know.
The initial lice treatment has olive oil or sweet almond oil and vinegar. Overnight lice treatment is olive oil, and then it gives a list of different essential oils to add, and one of them is tea tree. And then it says lavender, eucalyptus, cloves, cinnamon, or anise. You can use any one of those.
So I used to live in England. And I lived in a small village, and my neighbor was Welsh and very much an herbalist. And she knew that I went to buy a brand name on the military installation product that we all know. If you go to the store, I'm not going to say the brand with an R. Yeah. But it did nothing. And my sweet little Welsh neighbor came over and she said, I heard you are having a lice issue. It's something in our schools. All of my kids went to British school systems when they first started. And they didn't at least then send their kids home from school. And she said, go to this. She told me where to go buy this product, and it had natural essential oil in it with tea tree. And she said, wash your children's hair in it, use olive oil and take tea tree oil and put it together and then massage it in the scalp and then put a shower cap on and let your baby sit. And then I used tea tree oil and I sprayed the carpet and I vacuumed it up and then I sprayed the bed down. Girl, I got rid of lice in 24 hours. So then
That's awesome.
We came back to the United States, and then my daughter and her friend both got lice from the Girl Scout camp. And so I took care of my oldest and got all the light, got her all situated, had her cap on with her lice treatment. It was tea tree oil and olive oil, and I had already washed it, and all the linens were in the washing machine. Bed was taken care of. Carpet was cleaned, everything. Went over and I took care of her friend's hair, super thick, curly hair, girl, just saying. And got her all situated, told her mom how to finish up. And then the next day, the girls were able to go back to school. And the school nurse called me and said, there is no way, God's green earth, you got rid of this lice in 24 hours or less.
Yeah.
So I told her, I challenged her. I said, go grab my daughter and check her head out. She went and grabbed both the girls, looked through the hair, called me back. Oh my gosh, how did you do it? Tea tree oil. I swear by tea tree oil.
Oh, it's amazing. It is truly amazing.
I swear by it. The Aborigines used it when they went off to war, when they had open wounds. And to help heal their wounds too. That's what they use it for. So, I mean, it's got a lot of really cool properties to it. I love me some good tea tree oil. And yeah, Logan, that is your dog. Your dog is calling for you, Logan. He said, "That's just dog." It don't bother me. I'm a dog owner. It's all good. All good.
After a while,
it's all good. But no, there's a lot of really good essential oils and herbs that are good for different things. Yeah, we have a local nursery that is out in the middle of nowhere. And I like going out there and buying herbs for them because they're organic. And they have really unique things that you can't find in big box stores. Like there's a toothache plant, I think it is, and it's natural aspirin, and literally I tried it because I was starting to have a headache, and she said take a couple of the flowers too, just keep it low because it's like taking a dosage of aspirin, and she said see how you feel. Oh my gosh, it worked for me. I was really surprised. I need to go back and purchase the plant. I didn't because I had my specific things that I was buying, and I'm
going to get the seeds for the toothache plant.
Can you?
Yes. I've seen it in the Baker Creek catalog.
Okay.
And I believe I've seen it in a couple of other locations as well. But yes, you can absolutely buy toothache plant seeds.
It worked. I mean, it's got a horrible taste. Have you ever had it before?
I have not. I cannot do aspirin. Aspirin and my body do not work well together, so I don't know if it would be safe for me to take.
I think that's for your doctor to have that conversation.
Yeah,
because it's not really aspirin, but they call it. It's
right.
So it may not
understand that.
Yeah, I just have a conversation with the doctor.
Right, because I know what aspirin does to me. And they list it as an allergy, whether it's a true allergy or not. I don't know. And I would be so hesitant to try it. Well, and the same with Tylenol. I can't do Tylenol, even junior Tylenol. I can't do. And so, but yet I can do, because I have chronic pain, I take pain medication daily.
So can you take like an NSAID or you can't take any NSAID?
I can do ibuprofen limited. I have to be careful how much I take.
Yeah.
But I can take oxycodone and methadone, and I do daily, just
No
to
problems.
function.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah, have that conversation with your doctor with any herbs, because you don't want to ever cause yourself any problems. And I'm not a doctor either. I'm just speaking from experience from what we're doesn't. But that toothache plant, I'll just give you. I like bitter tea. I'm weird. I love bitter tea. This is bitter, but this is like a weird bitter, and I'm not sure that I like the taste of it.
Is it unripe persimmon bitter?
No, it's a different kind. And yes, I've had I get a friend of mine has a Native American, not Native American, Native American. Well, not, how do I put this? A native persimmon tree to America. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a Fuyu persimmon or it's native.
Like native to America persimmon.
Native to America. That's the right way of saying it. Anyhow, as I've just butchered all that, but anyhow,
the Native American persimmon.
Native to America persimmon. We're gonna get this. The persimmon that you can find only in America. Uh-oh. Hello.
Marley?
Uh-oh. Everything okay?
I think she just fell off the top shelf of the closet and landed in the box below.
Oops. Well, anyhow, so if you never want to pick a persimmon, a native to America persimmon off the tree. Never. They're horribly bitter. You want them to fall to the ground, put a sheet out.
You don't want any persimmon that is unripe.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's not good for you either.
You want a persimmon that is very soft.
Yep. And it actually, if you pick it up, it actually kind of starts to fall apart in your hand. That means it's sweet. But I make the best. It's my great, hang on. It is my grandfather's aunt. I have her recipe, like go way back, okay? Her persimmon pudding. And it's a wet cake is what it is. And you put a little bit of Cool Whip on top. It's a real good fall time recipe. But I cook with persimmons, and I've made persimmon jam too.
I want a persimmon tree so bad. Now, here's what's funny. When I was a little girl, from the age of 8 to 14, we lived in California in the Bay Area. And we were told by people, oh, you got to try persimmons. You got to try persimmons. Oh, they're so wonderful. My dad worked for a company where he was driving up and down the California coast, picking up used tires and taking them to his company where they would recycle tires.
Sure.
And so in the process, he had access to all these roadside fruit stands. And so he was like, okay, we're going to get persimmons. And so at one of these fruit stands, he picked up persimmons and brought them home. Well, we tried these persimmons, and I swore I would never eat another persimmon. And these people that told us that we needed to try persimmons, they were like, oh, you didn't like them? Oh, but they're so good, this and this and this. And we're like, those things were the worst things we have ever tasted.
That's what they need to look like. These are the ones that I picked up. That's what ripe persimmons look like.
Yeah. Well, these persimmons were not ripe.
Oh.
And so every one of us were like, we had just eaten a mouthful of alum.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And they will draw your mouth, and it doesn't rinse out. You cannot, no matter what you do, not hot water, not cold water, not milk, nothing will rinse it out of your mouth.
And you don't hate persimmons, and you'll think that's what it is.
It's
Yeah. So what you want to do is in the fall, because that's when they fall off the tree, you literally want to take a sheet out and put a sheet down, because otherwise when they fall, because they're so sticky sweet and the skin is so thin, it will pick up grass and you have to pick the grass out of it. So literally all you do, like country folk that have persimmon trees, they put the sheet out, and then when then they put it out one night, and then the next day they go out and you pick it up and you pour it in your bowl, and then they put the sheet back out, and then like you just want to keep picking it up. Now I will say it also attracts raccoons and deer, so you want to take a look at what you're picking up too and just toss out. But it's the cleanest way to harvest persimmons off the ground. But you'd never want one picked off the tree, not the native to America. I'm going to say this carefully. Native to American persimmons. Maybe that's why I say it. American persimmons. The old fashioned, out in the woods kind of a thing. And let me tell you, in my area, it is a fight over persimmons. And if you accidentally get them off somebody's property, you up a creek without a paddle.
Not that.
It's like is it morel? Morel. Yeah, it's the same scenario as those mushrooms. You've got to be careful with where you're getting them. And most people don't tell where they get them. Like I don't say where I get mine for a reason, but I get mine. And I want a persimmon tree. I actually, last year, I harvested all those persimmons and I put them on my, the pulp in my freezer. And I have freeze dried some of it, and I have made persimmon puddings, and I have it in different, ways. But I took all those seeds and I dumped them into a pot and threw dirt over it. So I'm hoping.
Oh, I hope you get one or two.
I'm hoping. We'll find out. I'm leaving that pot alone and we'll see. But I would love to you have to have a male and a female, and you don't know what you've got for a few years. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a persimmon tree. It would be nice.
It would.
I just keep trying. If not, I'm wondering maybe if I can find one, maybe at a local nursery and buy
that would
one.
Be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, it wasn't until Logan got up here that he convinced me to go ahead and buy persimmon from the store and try it. Try a ripe one. Mm-hmm. And there's two different kinds that you can buy at the store. Mm-hmm. There's the ones that are teardrop shaped, and they're huge. Mm-hmm. And then there's the ones that are round and kind of flat, and they're bigger. They're bigger than the American.
They're Japanese, because the American ones are about like that big.
Yeah, they're more like a small plum.
Literally, yeah, even smaller than a plum.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some plums that are real small.
Okay, like a small plum, then, because I would like literally put them like that's a good size, like that right there, good size.
Yeah. Maybe a key lime size or something.
Yeah, tiny. Yeah. And they're, like when I say they fall apart in your hand, it's because the skin is so thin, and then they're super sticky.
Yeah. The Japanese kind, and the Fuyu kind, they have a thicker skin. Mm-hmm. But so we got some of those from the store, and he made sure that they were really good and ripe before we cut into them. And he had me taste it, and I was like, "You're kidding me! That's what a persimmon is supposed to taste like." And so now I absolutely love persimmons.
Well, you like the Japanese. I still want you to try the American, because they're not the same. Their texture is completely different. And I tried making a persimmon pudding because I wanted one when we lived overseas. I wanted one so bad. And we lived in Japan. I thought, I'll just get the Japanese persimmons. I'll go down to my local market and get it. It wasn't even remotely close. And I used my grandpa's aunt's recipe to make it. No, you need the true.
Well, And I'm sure there is a difference, but at least it got me over
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah, for sure.
traumatic experience as a child.
Yeah, because you have. I would rather. I wish you were close because I would give you one to say, okay, just you would just have to like take like a little bit and put it in your mouth. It's so sweet when they're falling on the ground. They're super yummy, like candy sweet. But you have to wait for it to hit the ground. That's the key to that. So that's why a lot of people use a sheet and just put it out.
You can't even like harvest them and let them ripen.
They
It
will
just
not.
doesn't.
They're even
Oh.
better if a cold snap hits it too. They sweeten them up even more. Those
Okay.
are the better ones.
Like our sugar beets, they have to be they have to go through at least one good solid frost or freeze to
Right.
set the sugar before they're harvested and taken to the factory.
Sort of kind of like that. But if you pick them up and they haven't gone through that frost, they're still sweet. But there's something about that cold snap that makes them even sweeter. But yeah, they're sweet as is, and they make great persimmon pudding, like even before frost. But you can get them after, even more sweeter. It's hard to describe. So good, but so different. Yeah.
We were in Arkansas at his aunt's house, I think it was, and they had a persimmon tree. And he was looking on the ground for some persimmons, and there just weren't any quite ready at the time. Otherwise, I would have gotten to try one. And it just wasn't quite time. It was early September.
Yeah, it's at the end of September into October is when you harvest typically.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite time. Otherwise, I would have gotten to try one. And he was looking for one. He wanted one so bad.
Aw, they're so good. I wish you were closer because I'd make you a persimmon pudding because they are. It's either you really love it or you really hate it. And usually Hoosiers are like, yeah, let's make it because it's a Hoosier thing. And let me tell you, everybody's recipe is so different. My grandpa's aunt's recipe is very sought after, and because it's like the best. And my cousin's wife makes persimmon puddings using her recipe, my grandpa's aunt's. And people are always trying to buy the recipe off of her. And we've all told her you can't sell it, but she has a lot of people. So I've never shared that recipe on the channel because it's so protected in the family. Right. It is like off the charts good.
Well, I don't
my kids have it. My kids have it. So I'm like, we pass that through the family and everybody just knows, you don't shut that out.
Keep it close.
Yeah. And she was an excellent cook and a baker, and anything she made. I mean, I knew her. She was a young grandpa's aunt, a young lady for being my grandfather's aunt. But she was an amazing cook. Amazing. Yeah. So I'm glad I have her recipe. It's kind of cool,
Yeah.
So, anyhow. Yeah. Well, I need to get scooching. It's 7:11 here. 7:12.
Yeah, I was just going to say my hubby's home and I should probably go figure out what we're going to do for dinner. I completely spaced off getting something out. He asked me to and I didn't get it done. It's one of those days.
As in my name, give yourself a little grace. Don't fire yourself. I love that. I always like to use my name, why not? Because that's what it's about,
I really need that today. It's been one of those days for me.
Give yourself
appreciate that. Absolutely. And I appreciate each and every person who's been here and who's hung out with us from start to finish, and those who have hung out in the background. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Those who are going to catch the replay, I appreciate you so much. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, I've been too scatterbrained today. Last week we did a giveaway, and it was unexpected, and I would like to do a giveaway every month, but here's the catch. I am not going to let anybody know, except for my amazing co-host. I am not going to tell anybody when I'm going to do it. So if you want in on the giveaway, you're going to have to be here.
Right. That's right.
That's the catch. If you want a chance to get in on whatever the giveaway is going to be, you're just going to have to show up, because I'm not going to tell you when it's going to happen.
Nor are we going to tell you what part of the show it's going to happen in either.
Exactly. It could happen at the very beginning. It could happen in the middle, or it could happen right before we sign off.
And there may be more than one too. So
that's right.
You never know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So to be a part of the giveaway, you're going to have to be here or be
miss out.
Fired. No.
Right. Well, yes, it's a little bit of grace and sometimes some fire.
That's right.
Missed out.
Fired.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding.
Some laughter.
Hear you, but you would miss out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did want to make that announcement, and I will attempt to remember to make that announcement next week at the beginning of the show, as opposed to the end.
Well, you know what? That's a little bit of for those who have hung out, even on the replay. Now you know the little secret.
That's right. So with that, I want to thank my beautiful and wonderful co-host, Glenda. And I wonder, did you happen to notice the thumbnail for today's live?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I'm not going to lie. Okay, maybe you're going to fire me. Fired!
No, you will have to check it out.
I'll go back and take a look.
And that will be on every thumbnail, just so you know.
Aww.
And anyway, with that, I do have this week's Thoughts for Thursday video already recorded. I just have to edit it and upload it, so it will be on time this week. I even have next week's recorded.
Oh my gosh, you're
ready to update or ready to edit. That's the word. Words are hard today.
We can't English some days. I'm guilty of that. I was having a hard time saying the American persimmon-tree or something.
You didn't get to show what kept you from remembering the day.
What kept me from remembering the day? You want to know what I was doing? I'll give a sneak peek. I was sewing when I realized today was Tuesday and I got an email. So I was sewing this pretty thing.
Anyway, with that, I will let you go. Be watching for Thursday's video. And Monday, Crafty Witch will be my guest. And so please come and support her. She has an incredibly unique channel. And I do hope that you'll be here for that. Really quick, meet Miss Caroline, our mama for all the kittens. She is an incredibly sweet young mama.
She's
and
beautiful.
I know this is at least her third litter coming up.
Aw, she's beautiful.
She is. Very sweet.
Rebecca, I still haven't mailed it yet. So I will when I get ready. It's still sitting right there. I'm looking at it.
Jesse and Lisa, if you're listening, your package will be mailed tomorrow, and there will be a little something extra for Miss Lisa.
Awesome.
So,
who needs a day at the spa?
Anyway, I will let you guys go. Thank you for hanging out, and enjoy your tacos or whatever you're having for dinner.
Have a wonderful week, y'all.
Yes, have a wonderful time.
Bye.
Be blessed. Bye.
Bye.